All right, so let's graphically look at the income and substitution effect. But I just want to be clear here that the total change in consumption of a good from a price change. So a price change is causing this total change in consumption of, let's say, tacos. And this total change is a result of the substitution effect plus the income effect. If the price of tacos was larger, we're definitely going to substitute, let's just write that out. If price of tacos increases, what's going to happen is we're going to substitute away from tacos. So this substitution effect will be decreasing the amount of tacos. So this part will be a negative since we're going to have less tacos. But what happens to the total consumption of tacos also depends on this income effect. So for instance, if tacos were a normal good and the price of tacos went up, that means our income is going down. So this would also be a negative. So both of these two things, let's write that out. If tacos are normal or a normal good, the price of tacos increasing reduces real income. So real income's going down, and because it's a normal good, that means the income effect will cause us to have less tacos as well. So these two together will determine this total change in tacos. Now if tacos were inferior good, then this income effect would be positive, that we'd be having more tacos when our real income went down. And the net effect would depend on which one of these two things are bigger. Okay, so now that we kind of hopefully understand these income and substitution effects are together determine the total change, we can draw 3 different diagrams of demand curves about normal goods, inferior goods, and then the special Giffen good case. All right. So here's the price and the quantity. I'm just going to draw a demand curve here. So this is this demand curve, and this is going to be a normal good. And so let's say the price is originally P0. So this is the price right there. And the price falls to P1. So this is going to cause, this is the total change. But we're going to decompose that total change into an income and a substitution effect. So this good is becoming cheaper, so we're going to definitely substitute towards it. Let me get a different color here. I'm just going to pick a point. We're not going to know exactly where it is. I'm just kind of demonstrating this idea. Let's say this much. So let's say this much here, should be a bit more, but is the substitution effect. It's going to be positive. This decrease in price is causing us to substitute towards whatever good this is. We're going to purchase more of that. And because it's a normal good and the price is going down, that's like a real income going up. So again, we're going to have this positive income effect. Let's pretend this substitution effect is bigger, since I said that it usually is. So here they're working both in the same direction. So with normal goods, these income and substitution effects are working in the same direction when we have a price change of that good. Now let's draw what an inferior good might look like. Price and quantity here. I'm going to draw a little bit of a steeper curve. And again, we're going to lower the price from P0 to P1. So the price is going down. So now this amount here is the total change, just like it was over here. And we're trying to decompose this total change into the income and the substitution effect. So now let's say we're looking at an inferior good. And so we know again that the substitution effect is going to be positive, right? Because the price of this good is going down. It doesn't matter that it's an inferior good for the substitution effect. It's getting relatively cheaper. And so let's say that this amount now is the substitution effect. So we're increasing our consumption by this much from the substitution effect. However, we have this income effect, and here our income is going up again because the price is going down, but because it's an inferior good, the income effect is going to work in the opposite direction. So the substitution effect is making us purchase a whole bunch more of this good, but at the same time our income is going up, and it's an inferior good, so the income effect is kind of counteracting some of this substitution effect. So that's why it's relatively steeper for an inferior good, because they're working in opposite directions. And finally, let's look at this special case, which is a Giffen good. Again, price and quantity, and I'm going to draw this crazy upward sloping demand curve. So this violates that law of demand that we talked about. And this is because it's an inferior good, so they're going to work in opposite directions, but the income effect is going to be bigger than the substitution effect. So let's see that. So the price is going down. Too many pens in my hand here. Let me get rid of some of them for now. So here now is the total change, and it's negative, right? Now price goes down and we purchase less of it. That's crazy. So it's a negative total change, even when the price goes down. And we're going to have the income and substitution effect. Well, the substitution effect is still there. It's the price is getting cheaper, so the good is getting cheaper. So we're definitely going to purchase more of it from the substitution effect. The thing is here that it's an inferior good where the income effect is bigger than this substitution effect. And here the income is going down. It's an inferior good, so we're going to go all the way down here, and this is what the income effect is here. So it's like an inferior good. So Giffen good is just like an inferior good, but now this income effect is bigger than the substitution effect. So instead of just making the demand curve steeper, it's actually like making it a positively sloped line. Giffen goods are very rare. It's really hard to think of what a Giffen good is going to be. So it's kind of a very special case. All right, so this is what they all look like graphically. And again, the total change in consumption is due to this combination of the substitution and income effects. All right, so the next part of this module next week, or whenever you're watching this, is going to kind of further explore how we might, an alternative way of representing preferences and budgets more graphically in order to come up with optimal consumption bundles.